Hello and good morning. 9:09. Well, 9:10 exactly here in California, IA. And got started a little bit late because I was on the phone with a client for, I don't know, about half an hour. Started the call more than half an hour before the show time, I think. And it was regarding an issue that I was working on last night. Busy day yesterday. Busy day today. Tomorrow, I have a tentative appointment for 7 a.m. with a client. So it's possible I might not have any shows tomorrow. So for those of you who are getting on me about missing yesterday and being late today, uh, tomorrow will give you more fuel. I just turned off the overhead light. So I've made some changes in the studio trying to fix all that glare. I've got some emails to go hit that came in a while ago. Let's see, this one 4 days ago. There's his email address. I don't have that preset up to block out. So, what's a quick way to do that? Well, I'm just going to read it to you. It's from Larry Davis. And I didn't notice him in the chat room. Larry, if you're watching, go ahead and say hello so we know that. Larry Davis sent me an email 4 days ago on Friday afternoon. Says, "Hi Doug, this is Larry Davis. Help a buddy to clean install on a laptop. Well, put in boot flash drive. It went into BIOS, BOIS, but did find main drive. Had to go find drives so it would laptop. You might talk about that a little. The drivers were Intel Rapid Storage Technology driver for HP Pavilion. Thanks, Larry Davis." I think there's some issues there with maybe voice dictation or maybe English as a second language. I'm not sure. What I interpret that to mean is that he's helping a friend to do a clean install of Windows on a laptop. And I don't know about the part about booting into BIOS, but anyway, they had some trouble getting it to recognize the drive to do the install, and he sent another email with a link to a video that shows about. Oh, you know what? I brought this video up. Here's the video that he sent me, and it's about this load driver opportunity. If your computer needs a driver in order to see the storage drive in the computer, you would have to load a driver at this point in the Windows installation. Now, it seems to me, and I haven't had a need to do this myself, but it seems to me that if you have the computer up and running with Windows 10 and you want to do a fresh, clean install, if you create the bootable flash media with the media creation tool, there's an option to say, create it for this computer, and will automatically put the driver that's needed onto the flash drive. And you wouldn't have to go get it as a secondary operation. Now, since it was a HP laptop and an Intel driver, I would prefer to go to the HP website to get the driver. He never mentioned, I had it on my mind. What's that? Where there's a Optane memory. He didn't mention Optane memory, whether it was that situation, but very likely it may have been. And that is also a situation where you can get the Optane driver from HP and be able to do the fresh install. So I think I don't think he was asking for help. I think he got it figured out, and he was just suggesting that I talk about that because that's an issue that people may run across. If you're trying to do a fresh install, when you get to this point in the installation, if you don't see the drive that's available, it may be because you need to load a specific driver. My first choice would be to go to the manufacturer of the computer and see what drivers are available there. Other than that, there may be another source if that's not available through the computer manufacturer's website. Then next I have an email from Josh Kinder. This one does not show his email address. And his subject line says, when I was looking at the computer, the one on the top where it says receive updates for the Microsoft products was off on the computer you was working on. Oh, that I guess I didn't even realize that. I think he was referring when we were working on Saturday on the computer that was having trouble with Windows updates. Tony Waldo. God, I'm sorry, Tony. I can forget my own brother's name. So it's surprising. Sometimes my mind is just on top of it. I'm remembering things that I can't believe I remember that, and then other times things that I know really well I can't think of. Anyway, this is what he's talking about. Receive updates for the Microsoft products when you update Windows. So he was pointing out that was turned off for Tony Wallo's computer. That's okay. That is just for other products such as Microsoft Office or any other Microsoft software. I typically leave that off. And the reason for that is because when updates come for other products on the computer, when updates come for anything, it usually causes my clients more grief than it is a happy day, because a lot of those updates just make changes and they interrupt the workflow that people have with those changes. I'll come over to channel comments. We'll get to chat pretty soon here. Let's see, 3 days ago from George Armstrong. Hi, Doug. Your videos never fail to brighten my day. Let's zoom in a little bit. Your humor often has me laughing out loud. I've learned so much from your channel. Not just a YouTuber, you're a teacher and an entertainer in one. Thank you, George Armstrong. Very kind words indeed. And you get a thumbs up and you get a heart. Matthew Barnes says, let's see, that was regarding Saturday's show. Hey, Doug, great show. I'm always interested by attempts to fix Windows Update not working. Also great to see Tony in Zoom. Also, my joke is RTFM stands for Read the French Manual, because most manuals are so useless, they may as well be in French. And I have seen plenty of examples of that. You're reading what they say and say, well, what do you mean? Because a lot of times when a person writes something, they know clearly what it means and they don't understand how somebody else might be misunderstanding that. And they're just not good writers, in my opinion. If you can't imagine how somebody might misunderstand what you're writing and go fix it, then you should not be doing that writing. Unfortunately, that's the way most writers are. I get very frustrated with that in many, many different venues. So Matthew Barnes will give a thumbs up and a heart. Thank you for that. And it occurs to me there was something I was going to prepare before the show and I didn't get to it. So I'm going to come over here to Google Forms. This is about that survey that I think I introduced on Saturday, and go see how responses are on that. Yeah, there was 2 responses that came in right away. Didn't get many responses on that. Now, I probably didn't point out that this is a draft. I went back and changed some text here. Note, this is a draft, a beta test version of this survey. Results will be discarded. So you would be doing me a favor, anybody who's watching this video, to go fill out this survey, make totally random answers. I don't care what your answers are, because this is not the real survey. I just need to know, does this function okay? Do people find any problems when they go through it? You'll have to answer this is the first question, the second question, and then we get into the meat of it. And that course that I'm working to develop is all about communications issues between technicians, support technicians, and their clients. So even if you're not in the business, even if you're not a technician, you're not doing remote support, you're still doing me a favor if you go just put in some stuff and let me see some numbers develop. So what I need to do here is go shorten the URL and then copy this, and I'll put that into chat. Here's chat and survey link. Now, it does require that you put in your valid signed in Google email address. And it has the option for me to not do that, but I chose that I do want to do that. And I'll be discarding all of that data. So it says in there that you, by filling out this survey, you may receive an invitation for beta testing. This is the draft survey. It's not real. That invitation is not going to come to you unless you fill out the real survey when I release that. Oh, that's interesting. I'm way behind on that video you were just seeing. Is there anything else I need to say on that? I don't think so. On Saturday, I put that link into the description of the video. And today I'm putting it into chat, pop out chat. And did I have anything else? Let me see if I don't think I had anything else on these tabs. Oh, I do have some other tabs open, but let's go. That's in response to stuff in chat. So let's go talk about that. Alice, hi. Hope you're feeling much better today. I am feeling much better. Thank you. Danielle Emberly, ever look at techniques to prevent unintentional folder drag and drop with Windows 10 Pro? My searches only find articles that involve registry edits. I went and looked at that this morning in response when I saw your question. And the registry edit that I saw looked pretty straightforward and easy to do and effective. What it does is instead of 4 pixels of space, you would have to accidentally hold down the mouse button and drag a longer distance before it's going to be an accidental drag. I've had that problem happen quite a lot with my clients where they contact me saying there's a missing folder. And I go typically find that folder is inside an adjacent folder, one that's very close. And that's exactly what happened. Is they tried to click on something and the mouse moved just a little bit during that click, and it treated it as a drag. I also went around into mouse settings looking for some other way, and I have not seen any other way besides that particular registry edit. I'd be happy to demonstrate that if you want me to. Brian Lightfoot, a few words of advice. Don't trust atoms. They make everything up. They make up. That's important. You can't mix up those words. They make up everything. It doesn't have the same humor if you switch around those words the way I did. Martin Hogg, hi again to all Doug and chat. To Danielle, he says, suggest you look at mouse controls and settings. That should enable you to have more control. Yeah, there's some things that you can do with the mouse settings, but I didn't see anything about dragging. There's double click speed, but that's not dragging, because dragging has to do with holding down the mouse button. Depending upon the mouse options for your mouse, there might be something there. Now, that might be where you want to download the driver. You might find driver software specific for your mouse that has more capabilities than the built-in mouse driver. That is a high possibility that they might have an adjustment in their manufacturer software for your mouse. Martin to Brian, where do you get all these? Everywhere. LOL. I think he's referring to the atoms. Carl J, hope you're feeling better. Yes, I am. Thank you. Martin Hogg, hope your head is better today. Not. Hope your head is better today. Not. Really? Should I give a thumbs down on Martin Hogg today? What is this? Hope your head is better today. Not. Wow. All right. I'll just take a laugh at that. We'll be starting late today. Oh, that's from the other Doug, the one that was busy with a client and just didn't care about getting here with you guys. He just drives me nuts. I can cut a piece of wood in half just by looking at it. I am telling you, it is true. I saw it with my own eyes. Martin Hogg. Now, that one was from Nick. I don't think I said his name. Martin Hogg. Hi, Doug. Sincerely hope your head is better today. Not limited to head only. Oh, that's what he said. He got cut off. YouTube got impatient with him, and like he pretend that YouTube hit the enter key for him. Not limited to head only. He's hoping the rest of me feels better too. Greetings all from Selden Ball. Daniel Emberley. Let's get switched up here. Back to Danielle. Just looked under mouse settings. Don't see anything under mouse settings to prevent inadvertent drag and drop. I agree with you. Chris Garrett. Where is Live Windows Training-DougBetts? He is running late. You should have seen me running. I couldn't believe how I was just out of breath. Ran to Danielle. Registry editing is the way to go if you want to avoid repetitive editing. Create a reg file to apply the changes. Why would it be repetitive? Once you make that change, it should stick if you're doing it in current user. Oh, I had a tab brought up for it. Yeah, here's where they're showing that HKey current user. When you make that change to the HKey current user, that change transfers to the specific user. Current user, you can log in with a different username each time, right? So this is a dynamic registry hive that will populate with the settings that are stored in the permanent registry settings for your username. Yeah, so when you shouldn't have to do that over and over. Now the default was 4, and I believe they said that was for 4 pixels. Yeah, value's too much, and they recommend starting with the value of 200, and then adjust it based upon how that feels to you. And how you would identify how that feels to you is if you do an intentional drag and you find you have to hold down the mouse button and drag it a really long distance away before you see the item start dragging with you, then you might want a lower number. If you find that it's still easy for you to do an accidental drag, then use a higher number. Isn't it pixels? P-I-X. Yeah, 4 pixels. So those are in pixels. What do I have over here? Oh, that was for my survey. Chris, yesterday you were no-show. Today you are late. Please see me in the office after the stream. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Oops. I think I'm going to be in detention. Another way to prevent inadvertent drag and drop would be Control-Z. I saw this before I started the show, and I thought, really? Control-Z is undo. That's not going to prevent an inadvertent drag and drop. Now, if you do an accidental drag and drop, you can use Control-Z in most environments to undo that. Let's go demonstrate that. Partly because I'm not 100% confident about that. I'm going to come down here to my SW setup. So if I do an inadvertent drag, I'm holding down the mouse button accidentally. Now I'm going to press the escape key to do that again. See, if my mouse is near the bottom of that line, let's go to a different line. If my mouse is on the bottom of the line and I press the mouse button and just drag that distance, that's a tiny, tiny distance, and then let go of the mouse button and don't realize it. Oops, that didn't, actually what I got there now is 2 of them selected. So let's get an accidental drag there, and then Control-Z. Yep, that undid it. But that doesn't prevent it from happening. So that only is helpful if you notice that you just did an accidental drag and drop. But I've had a lot of clients call me, there's a missing folder, and nobody realizes that they accidentally moved it. Although that may not be true. Nobody realizes they accidentally drag and dropped it. That may not be true because they might have realized it, in which case they would have just gone back and dragged it back to where it belonged. If they wind up calling me for it, that indicates they did not realize they did that. So it could be that a lot of my clients have accidentally drag and drop, and then they reverse that process and they never call me. Daniel Turan moved a very large financial related folder inadvertently on Friday and did not find out until Saturday morning. I did find it eventually. So Danielle had exactly that scenario happen where she didn't notice it. Control Z would not have been a help because Control Z only undoes the last thing. Well, there are some environments. Hang on. There are some environments where it will undo prior things. Rick Lakes, good morning. Alice, hello to Rick. If a disciplinary interview is pending, will he need a union rep present? Dennis is going to watch later. Brian, Danielle, I think you have joined the Ken Stout School of Mouse Control and Techniques. The one thing about that school is they have an awesome graduation party. When you go to a graduation party from Ken Stout's Mickey Mouse School, they have an amazing graduation party. Is daylight savings time calculated in our production time? I'm trying to think of some extra clever response to that. I'm not getting it. Chris Garrett, I'm having to restore an Acronis image. I have a missing driver in Device Manager. I uninstalled the device. It would not reinstall it, so I restored. Got to go figure out what it is. Okay, be interesting to hear how that goes. Chris giving a laugh to Martin. Josh says, hello, Lawn Dog. Wow, Chris, that's not supposed to happen. Regarding the missing uninstalling, I guess. Maybe the driver was corrupted and couldn't reinstall itself. He uninstalled the device or the device driver. I'm guessing he uninstalled the device driver. The device is probably still physically connected to the computer. It would not reinstall it. I'm going to go to Device Manager. If you uninstall a device driver, I'm not going to actually uninstall this. But then what I would do next is come up here to the top and right-click and scan for hardware changes. There's other ways to do that too, where scan for hardware changes here. And that's how I would get it to reinstall the driver. That's what I would expect it to be able to do. Another thing would be to disconnect and reconnect the device. I don't know what the device was. Brian Lightfoot, I think Ken Stout should take control of today's show. Yeah. Anytime my computer locks up, when the stream goes dead, and then you see me on another computer, maybe I come into the chat room and say the computer crashed up. That is pretty much always because Ken Stout tried to connect remotely or did connect remotely, and he crashed it because that is just a Ken kind of thing to do because he can do it. He can do it. Oh, Doug. Alice saying hello to Josh. Chris, stuck on restoring at 36 minutes. Okay, don't give up too early on it. Now, if it's stuck at a restoring, you need to check Crystal Disk Info and see if you have some storage drive problem, because when something's stuck, that is sometimes the cause of it. Oh, Ken Stout's here. Oh no, I'm in trouble. I'm in so much trouble. Oystein says hello, everyone. Gary Weisenberger, Danielle, take a look at this for restricting drag and drop. Toppassword.com. Interesting. Let's see what he's got here. Hang on. Disable drag and drop to prevent accidental copy or move. And it's also, this goes into the same registry thing. Put a value of 3,000, just making it so high that drag and drop isn't going to work. So this is the same technique. It's a different article. Now this is going to 3,000. So this article is disable it using the same registry thing. Do they do a disable here? I'm going to try searching for disable. Nope, the word disables doesn't occur. Yeah, same registry item, just different approach. if you just don't want drag and drop at all. Thank you, Gary. Chris, if Acronis fails, I may have to do a reinstall. You could try doing the Acronis restore to a different drive and see if that works, or even just check on the condition of that drive, even without having completed the restore. Hello to Sin Vicious. Had to do a refresh in order to see you live. I actually got another notification that you're live, but YouTube did not start like it should. Got your email. Just got up when I got it from Josh to Ken. Chris Garrett. I may have another backup somewhere on one of my externals. It is 9:35. I know Ken already announced he's not going to have a show this morning. Let me come over and check to see if Carrie the Holdsman has a show scheduled. He does not. Back to chat. Can the driver fit on a floppy? Yeah, typically drivers floppy. What? Can the driver fit on a floppy disk? Okay, Chris. You got me there. I read that and I took it seriously and I just went moving on. And you started laughing, didn't you? Doug didn't notice that I asked if you can fit it on a floppy. Gary says, or you can do this for all computers. How to remove Intel Rapid Storage technology from a system. This would be the RAID Intel Rapid Storage technology, and is that also part of the? Why do I have such trouble every time I try to say that other word? I said it earlier in this stream. The thing where you got that other memory that enhances stuff, so-called, as part of the Intel. I think it has to do with that. I think it's a RAID configuration that it uses. Looking to see if Optane. Thank you, Wintermute. Jeez. Bad Doug. Should remember this stuff. So this was disable on all computers. What was this you saying? You can do this for all computers. I guess that's just to remove the premium RAID set. So that means when you go to do a fresh install, you won't have to install a driver. The native Windows 10 installation will work if you disable the RAID in BIOS, I suppose. Back up all data. Run this application, disable any active volumes. Optane, there it is. BIOS with Dell. Okay, locate SATA VMD controller. Change from RST Premium to AHCI. And for VMD, change from VMD enabled to disabled to make it stop using that silly RAID driver and Optane. Hellos. Alice says she'll try to fill this out. Oh, that's the link, I suppose. Thank you, Alice. Greg already filled out the survey. Nick did the survey. Rand did the survey. Darn Mouse, hello. Darn Mouse, hello. Okay. Ida, hi everyone, just did the survey too. Laughing at problem is between keyboard and chair. Yep. Pebcock. Ran Israel, repetitive as in apply on multiple computers. Repetitive. Okay, I think that was back when Gary was saying you do this for all computers. So you'd have to use that technique on all computers that are using Optane and that Intel RAID driver thingy-mabopper. John Williams, I was cleaning up the yard of all the leaves, all done. Hello in chat, getting cold. From John Williams. Nick Poverman, my staff drag things into the recycling bin and then tell me it just vanished. Okay? Your staff drags things in the recycling bin and tells me it's vanished. So is that when you send them a notification about their job review for their direct reports that they're supposed to turn into you, that they're late on, they drag that email to the recycle bin so they can claim they didn't get it. On Doug, maybe Doug, for this drag and drop issue, maybe instituting some kind of pop-up box showing some kind of indication that files were moved. I know this is something somebody would have to create. That's not a bad idea for a pop-up just after the drag and drop happens, for a little pop-up to display for 1 or 2 seconds, drag and drop complete, so that you don't have to click on it. I don't want something extra to do. It's not a bad idea. Chat, I would hope they would put it as an option to turn on or off. I would like it to see in Windows, just when you hit Windows key and type mouse, you get mouse settings. Why couldn't the Windows operating system just put it in here somewhere, like additional mouse settings? Put it in here somewhere. That would be a feature update that would be useful. That's it. How about a feature update that's actually helpful? That would be nice. See my reply an hour from now. So I'm thinking an hour from now, he's going to do a reply to something, or maybe a video comment. I don't know. I don't get what that is. Ran Israel. Repetitive as in apply on multiple computers. See my reply. So apply, reply, apply, reply. Yeah, I don't know. I'm lost. Interesting. We would stop in Madison while we were on our way to Ohio in the early 1980s. I live in Minnesota. I ran Crystal Disk Info. It says health status good on my PC. Not good enough. No, Alice. That's not what we're interested in. We don't want health status good is not enough information. So let's go over here. I'm going to go to Crystal Disk Info. Health good is not enough information. So go to Disk Info 64. What I need from you is ideally what I'd like for you to do is send us a picture. What is that noise? What was that noise? Oh, I think Crystal Disk Info does that when you launch it. Yeah, this here and this here, that is not enough information to say that your drive is good. We need to look at these raw values. Anything that doesn't have a value of 0, we need to look. Composite temperature, that's okay. Available spare, that's okay. This one has a number, spare threshold, that's okay. We don't care about that. That's not a problem. Here, number, data units read, we don't care what that number is. Looking for anything controller busy time, now that's probably not a problem. Power on cycles, I'm not seeing, here, media and data integrity errors. If that's not 0, then you have a problem, even if it says health status good. Now let me come over here to these other drives, and be sure you're looking at the right drive. Here's where you select what drive. Each particular drive has a different list of smart attributes. So reallocated sectors account, we need that to show as 0. Read error rate, we need that to show 0. So we got to look at all these details, all right? So Alice, it's not enough what you gave me here. It's not enough that it says health status is good. Nick Powerman, I went on a date with a woman once and she told me she played goalie on her soccer team. Right at that moment, I knew she was a keeper. Let's see, I'm that much behind in chat. And I've got, what do I have coming up? Yeah, I've got an appointment coming up at 10 o'clock. Hello, Bobby. Nice drive. I have friends in Youngstown. Check your email. Ken, I replied to your email from Josh. Reminding me of the name Optane. Best way to deal with Optane is to nuke it from orbit. Gary, some computers come with VMD on. If it is on, You need RST drivers. If off, you do not. So that would, I haven't come across this VMD that I'm aware of. It doesn't sound familiar to me. But if a computer comes with Optane turned on, I don't bother with it. For my users, it's not going to be any significant concern. But so he's saying that if you're going to disable, if you're going to remove the RAID stuff, the RST Premium RAID, and if you have this VMD option, you need to disable it as well as turning off the RAID. I'm not using my words very well right now, I know it. A suitable response for the DST query. That's what he's going to see my reply an hour from now. A suitable response for the DST query. What was the DST query? I'm not remembering. Were we talking about DST, or is that the drive stuff we were just talking about? RST? Did you mean RST? Query. I don't know what he's referring to. Reg file can be used instead of repetitive manual editing on multiple computers. Oh, yes, and I've done that a lot. Where you go and export the reg key that you're in, and that creates it as a .reg file. Then you can copy that to another computer and just double click on it and apply the fixes. I think I've demonstrated that before. Is that what he was referring to regarding the mouse settings? I'm thinking that's useful. I will send this to you. So she's going to send me that picture. Thank you. Ken Stout says, this comment is to hopefully clear up some of the misunderstandings you have with comments. Generally speaking, you are usually around 3 to 4 days behind on what people are commenting on, and thus the confusion. I am working on a means of fixing that for you and will disclose this program on the 32nd of November. Cool. I am 100% confident it will fix this issue. And this will fix your issue. I promise this will fix your issue. 100%. What I need for you to do, Ken, is send me the comments a few days early that people are going to make. I need to see the comments a few days before they make them. So if you could just send me their comments a few days before, then I can, research them. Deploy next generation storage with confidence. Transition to NVMe with Intel VMD. So this is more information about the VMD. I'm going to keep that tab open. I'll do some reading about it later. Oh, I'm caught up. Am I caught up? I'm caught up. Okay, time to shut this thing down. Put the show to bed. Fold the tents up, pack them up in the trailers, pack up the trucks, load up the tractors, and get ready to move the circus to another location. Ken says, if I were to send the comments to you, then both you and I would be going to see Chris Garrett. Huh? If I were to send the comments to you, then both you and I would be going to see Chris Garrett. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ken, you are a funny person. Have a good day, everybody. Catch you later. Oh, maybe not tomorrow. I got a 7 a.m. tentative appointment tomorrow.